It's kind of crazy. Like my whole religious experience, my whole religious journey is I prefer to spend time in the most religious places on earth. I think they're the best places to be. Romania is it's the opposite of Dubai. It's extremely Orthodox Christian. It's actually the most Christian country in the world. So I spend most of my time between Dubai, which is, very overtly Muslim, and then I come back to Romania, which is very overtly Christian, but both of them have strong faith. And I think a lot of the problems with the world today is that the West is lacking faith, and I don't like being around. I don't like being in agnostic or atheistic societies anymore. I try to avoid them if possible. But like I said, my own personal journey, I think it's taking a little bit of time. I know people often ask me, what religion are you? And it's hard for me to answer that specifically. When I am in Dubai or near a mosque, I feel an energy that I'm at peace with and I enjoy.
Wow.
But I can't say it's not true also about particular churches here in Romania. So for now, all I know is I need to be a good person, and that's what I'm trying to do. But I stated it in the last podcast before, people often ask me, which religion when they ask me which religion I am, I make it very clear the religion I have the most respect for is Islam. It's not even close. It has to be. Yeah, it's actually amazing how in many ways, like you're saying, Jesus is one part of it, but in many ways, obviously there's key differences, but in many ways there's a lot of similarities. And it's kind of funny to me, whereas Christianity in the modern world has become such a laughingstock, and it has been because people don't practice it in any kind of strict way anymore, really. And people say, "Oh, Islam's so strict," and I say, "Look, a lot of the rules of Islam are also in the Bible. You're a Christian who's never read it. Like you've never read your own Bible. You don't know what your own rules are. So it's amazing how similar a lot of the tenets of the two religions are. It's just Islam and Muslims are the last people who take it seriously and practice it in a way it should be practiced and respect it. And that's why I think I first kind of went viral in the Islamic world when I said, look, I have so much respect for Muslims as a whole and the way they view their faith and how seriously they take it. I don't understand why you have these girls who call themselves Christians and they're drinking on Saturday night, meeting boys, doing whatever, and then going to church on the next day. That doesn't feel real to me. Does that make sense? A lot of the rules of Islam are also in the Bible. You're a Christian who's never read it. Like you've never read your own Bible. You don't know what your own rules are. So it's amazing how similar a lot of the tenets of the two religions are. If you don't respect your own house, if you walk into somebody's house and it's a mess, you're not going to worry about making a mess or about cleaning up after yourself or leaving a cup on the coffee table, right? But if you walk into someone's house and it's pristine, then you're going to be very, very concerned about making a mess. And Muslims have so much respect for themselves that people automatically respect the religion as a whole, whereas Christians don't. And this is the thing. We talk about things having longevity. We talk about things lasting into the future, especially religions as a whole. If you become tolerant of everything to the point where like Christianity is now, where they say, oh, we're tolerant. Well, if you're so tolerant, you ignore your own book, then what are you? Do you know where I'm coming from? And that's why I have so much so much respect for the Islamic faith. And that's why it's the one I would bet on. And when I say bet on, I mean, I know Muslims will be here in 100 years. What does Christian mean today? Very little. What's it going to mean in 100 years? Nothing. Let's be honest, right? So that's also another really interesting way to look at it, because then I start to look at things and say, okay, well, you have to choose which religion or which faith you believe is the true faith. But if one faith survives and the other faith is annihilated in real time, that tells you a lot as well, doesn't it? Doesn't that tell you a lot?
Absolutely.
So it's really interesting for me. It's like I have not made any kind of final decisions, etc., but I try and analyze things from a very, very logical perspective. I know God exists, and then you go, okay, God exists, and there's all these different interpretations of God as such, but the only one I see which has a warrior class that people fear is Islam. That's the only one there is.